Yep.
All right, she going? Okay, so what I tell them is, first thing you need to do, next thing we're going to need to do is going to need to load your film in total complete darkness. And I can't demonstrate that in the dark room because it has to be totally dark. So I'm going to demonstrate it out here and explain to you how to do it, and then we will go to the dark room all together as a class and do this at one time with me there. So once I get them going in the dark room, I'll flip the lights off and I come out. And just stand there and stay there. And I usually sit in a chair or something waiting on them because they'll come in and out saying, I can't get it, I need help or something like that. But the whole class is in there. So tell them pair up with somebody, okay? Each group is going to need a pair of scissors. And there's some here, but there's some up there too. Each group is going to need a can opener, one can opener, and they're up there in that top drawer. Everybody needs their film, and everybody needs a film canister. So before you go to the dark room, check your processing tank. I said film canister, I meant processing tank. To make sure you got your grommet in there, your reel, and that the reel has the 2 steel ball bearings in it. And that you have a red top too, okay? So everybody gets that, you head up to the dark room. So once you get into the dark room, what you're gonna do is the first person who's gonna get theirs in the tank, they're gonna set their stuff up first, okay? And then the other person can set their stuff behind theirs. Or however you want to do it. I tell the kids, if you got a better way between you and your partner, you want to try it a different way, go right ahead. So what you're going to do is when you get in there, the lights will be on, okay? Everybody needs their film, everybody needs a processing tank, but each group needs a pair of scissors, each group needs a can opener. So when you get in there, lights are going to be on, first person goes. So what they're going to do, separate everything. The first thing you're going to need is your film. And I tell them with this, and this can all be done in the light, while the room lights are on. Don't even have to be safe lights. So their film is going to look, it won't have the leader on it. So I go ahead and just cut that off, just so it looks like their film because it's rewound up in there. So the way I do it is I'll have the film, then I'm going to need the can opener. And I'll lay the can opener out. Then I'm going to need the scissors, and then I'm going to need my reel. And I always put the reel with the square tabs, since I'm right-handed, where I can feel them up here, okay? Then the tank, and then the lid, okay? So you get all this stuff set up, the next person can go ahead and have their film, their tank and everything set up just like this, and you'll just use the same scissors and the same can opener. Everybody gets set up, and what I usually do is I go through and tell them, all right, guys, you make sure you're ready before I turn the lights off, because once everybody's set up, I'm going to walk out, I'm going to turn the lights off, and I'm going out. There could be absolutely no light. So if you pull your phone out, or if you have a smartwatch, you might ruin everybody's film. Okay, so no light whatsoever. So what they got to do, the lights go out. Once they go out, you got to feel for your film. So you grab your film, and there's 2 sides. One has this protrusion, the other one doesn't. So you want to turn it over so you're on the side that doesn't have that protrusion, the flat side. And the goal is to get this metal ring off. That metal ring has to come off right there. So what we do that with is the can opener, okay? And I always ask them, which end of the can opener do you think you need to use? The sharp end or the round end? And you always use the round end, because this is not the easiest thing in the world to get off. So I tell them, when you hold it, put it back in your thumb and middle finger and forefinger like that. Use the round end, because if you slip and you hit yourself, it doesn't hurt, okay? If you use the sharp end and you slip, you might jam this down in your hand. So always use the round end. So what you've got to do is get this metal ring off. And you'll be surprised, a lot of kids have never used a can opener before, or a bottle opener. So I tell them, what you've got to do is this little piece right here has to go underneath the ring, like that. And you got to push pretty hard. So you got to push pretty hard, and you got to lift that ring off. Turn and lift until you get it off, and then you can pull that off. Okay, so that little ring comes off. You just, if it falls on the floor, it's fine. I always tell them, don't worry about trying to pick everything up with the lights off. We'll wait until everybody's done. We'll flip the lights on and go clean up. So once you get that off, you can lay the can opener down. I tell them another important thing is make sure you're not just out in the middle of the floor doing this, because some people want to turn around and do this. Be over top of the table, because if you drop any of this, it's right there. You don't have to go searching in the floor for it. So now we got to get the film out. So I tell them, you just reach down here, push this up, hold it like this, as close as you can to the edge. The first 5 or 6 inches doesn't have any images on it, so it's not really going to hurt if you get your fingers on it. This can just be laid down, and there's your film. So the first thing you want to do here is you don't want to unwind this film, okay? You can, and it just makes it harder. So pull it out a little bit, and you've got to round it off, okay? So because this is going to be flat, or theirs will have the leader on it. You got to round it off. So you're going to feel for the leader where the end of the leader is, and then you've got to round the end of this off, okay? So it's going to be complete darkness. It don't have to be perfect, okay? And this is where a partner could help. So I tell them, if you don't think you can do this, your partner standard, get them to hold the reel of the film, okay? And then you can come up here and round this off, or you can hold it like I'm doing, and you just kind of feel for the end and just move your film and your scissors in a round direction. So you round the end of it off. Switch hands, and I'm still holding the film together, okay? And then I'm going to flex it to get it out, okay? And I'm going to feel for the end of the film. I'm going to reach for my reel. So I got to find my reel. I'm going to find those square tabs, make sure they're lined up. I'm going to pick this up, feel where the slot is, and then I'm going to bump the film against my finger right here and slide it in the slot, pulling out a little bit on the film. And how do I know I'm past those ball bearings? If I pull back a little bit and it doesn't come out, it means I'm past the ball bearings. Then I'm going to let this go. All right, and it's going to do that probably, okay? It's going to wind up. So turn the reel away from you, and you're going to ratchet this up in there slowly. If you feel that it's getting hard to ratchet, you may need to reach down here and unwind it, okay? And your partner will be there to help you too. So I'm just going to keep going, and I tell them, if you look at my finger right here, what I'm feeling is I'm feeling the edge of the film. So I do that a lot. And I could feel it going up in here. Sometimes it'll move like that. I could feel it going up in. I can feel it moving. And if it feels like it's going, right now it's still easy. See, you're not going to be able to see none of this. And I can feel down here to see if I've got more. You can always grab this and pull out if you want. So I'm going to keep going, and it's going to reach a point to where I can't go anymore. Right there. I can't go anymore. This little reel is still attached to it, okay? So what you've got to do is you've got to reach and find your scissors again, okay? Make sure this is up here, you can feel it, and cut that off, and just let it fall wherever it falls. And usually it'll do that because it bounces everywhere. And then give it about 5 or 6 more reels. And that makes sure everything is past those steel ball bearings, okay? Then you feel for the flange, okay? Remember the flange on the grommet is the wider portion over here. I can feel this side is skinny, this side's fat. Fat side goes down. So I'm gonna feel for my tank, drop it down in there just like you did with the practice film. Feel for my lid, put this down in there, remember, let it click a few times backwards, and really, really, really get it good and tight. Take your fingernail and feel around. Make sure you cannot get your fingernail there. You can feel the crack, but you can't get your fingernail in there, okay? Then, once you're sure you got it, then you come out of the dark room and you come back to the classroom. Put a piece of tape on the lid, and then take a Sharpie and put your name on it, and then you're done. Then you go back in and clean up after yourselves. So all of this stuff and this, that can all be thrown away. You pick up everything out of the floor, any scraps, any little pieces you cut off of the film, you throw them in a trash can. Can openers go back in the top drawer, scissors go back from wherever you found them from, and then you're done. That's it.